Hey, this is Ronald from MADArt Skills University, and today this is a brief lesson on art supplies and what you will need to get started if you wanted to take art seriously. I've received a lot of requests for this video. This lesson will talk to you about basic kits you can buy, color pencils, how pencils work in general, different types of art pads, and other resources that you will need to further your education in drawing or in art. And with that said, I minored in art in college, and I dropped my first art class video 2 years ago. You can check that out. I introduce you to drawing with a pencil, and then we apply color pencils to a parrot. My next lesson is going to be called Art Therapy, and that's going to drop in 2 days. With that said, and without further ado, let me show you what supplies might be best for you. When it comes to materials, I recommend you look at drawing kits because they're under 40 bucks and they have everything you need. So if you're going to progress up the drawing hierarchy, you're going to start with graphite pencils, you go to color pencils and go on from there. And these kits, as you can see, they're under 30 bucks and they have everything. Now, I only look for 4-star stuff on Amazon, but here are my graphite pencils, different kind of color pencils. Here are my sketch pads, drawing pads, erasers, everything is here. Pencil sharpeners. So this is a good kit. If you went to Walmart or some other place and bought this stuff individually, it will cost you a lot of money. So I would look at trying to buy a kit. You don't have to buy it from Amazon. I would buy a kit if you want to take this seriously. Now, as far as pencils, there are B pencils and there are H pencils. B is more soft and H is more hard. So if you're doing eyelashes or architectural renderings, you want to use an H pencil. And the higher the number goes, the harder the lead is. And conversely, the higher the number goes on the B side, the softer the lead is and the more smudging it is. You can smear it and blend it with these stumps right here. But pencils are important. You want to get some good graphite pencils. You can see over here, there's my soft, here's my hard, here's my medium. Look to the left on the H, you see how sharp the pencils are or the points are. You go over here to 14B, for example, see how wide that lead is? And that's going to smudge and it's going to be able to blend a lot easier and smoother than an H pencil. And hard pencils or the H's really don't blend too well. But look at the points here. You can see what the H stands for versus what the B stands for. And color pencils, I buy this brand. They're pretty expensive, but I like them a lot because they're high quality color pencils. But they have a set here for like 20 bucks that I think is really good because it gives you a variance of color, blending shades. This one to the far right on the bottom right here, for 20 bucks, you get all these variances of color pencil. What I like about this too is that you'll have variations of yellow or variations of blue, as you can see here. So now I can blend these colors in together a lot easier. But without these variations, you're putting color on top of color, and color pencil, because it's hard or it's a hard lead, just doesn't blend as easy. But there are 7 techniques you can use to blend color pencil. And then art pads. So I usually do my display work at 18 by 24, but as you can see, you can buy art pads very cheaply here, but the pad sizes are important. Now, a lot of times you see something that says mixed media, and that means you can do acrylic, watercolor, pencil, it's mixed. But when it comes to paper, paper comes in different pounds, and some has texture and some doesn't. You can see here with some my watercolor, I get specific watercolor paper. But you want to start off probably if you're a beginner, like 11 by 14 because it's smaller. But if you're a beginner too, you can use mixed media to use watercolor and everything else. But once you get better, you want to get specific watercolor paper because it does come in different textures and different pounds. As you can see, they have watercolor versus mixed media. The better you get, the more you're going to lean toward the high-end stuff. You can also see there's separate paper for pastels. But once you get good, if you're trying to display stuff or have an art show or sell what you're doing, you want to make sure that you have the appropriate material for the project you're working on. Even charcoal. And here's some of my charcoal stuff. But you can see charcoal paper, they have specific charcoal paper for charcoal. And then you might need a T-square if you're trying to do straight lines and perspective, so you can buy a cheap T-square somewhere. And a ruler is also necessary to create that straight line. You can also get a compass. And this gives you circles, and here's your compass, so I can create any size circle with this. You can also use a dime, a quarter, a DVD, but you can just start with a plain white sheet of paper and a number 2 pencil or a pen, doesn't matter. They even have desks you can buy. but they're only $100, so $150, whatever, so you can buy a desk once you get better. And then there are also thousands of lessons on how to draw. Drawing for beginners, color pencil for beginners, watercolor for beginners. There's your oil paintings. And again, anything you want to look for in terms of how to, it's on YouTube. So let's start with graphite pencil and work our way up to color pencils and then go from there. If you have any comments, suggestions, or ideas, please leave them below. And if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm wishing you and yours the very best in 2025. Thanks for watching. Peace.